Good morning friends. Today I shall talk about Fourier series and its applications. This is outline of my talk, that is orthogonality, superposition principle, some basic definitions, Fourier series and its convergence, its expansion in the interval minus L to L and the arbitrary interval, even and odd extensions, complex form of Fourier series and applications of Fourier series. The study of Fourier series is known as Fourier analysis, and it was introduced by Joseph Fourier for the purpose of solving the heat equation. It decomposes any periodic function or periodic signal into sum of a set of simple oscillating functions, namely sines and cosines. The superposition or linear combination of sines and cosines is called Fourier series. So first we shall need to know about some basic definitions, of which one is the orthogonality. Two functions p and qx defined on the interval a and p are said to be orthogonal if the integration a to b px qx dx is 0. Similarly, we can define orthogonal sequence of functions. We say that the sequence of functions is orthogonal if the product when integrated over the interval a to b is Cn into delta Mn, where delta Mn is canonical delta Mn is 0 for m not equal to n and 1 for m equal to n. It means to say that when you multiply the function with itself, you are getting a non-zero value, but when you multiply the function with any other function in the sequence of functions, you will get 0. First, we shall show that the set of functions 1 cos x, sin x, cos 2x, sin 2x, that is sines and cosines, is orthogonal in the interval minus pi to pi. So orthogonality can be checked by simply finding out the integrals I1, I2 and I3. Let us solve for I1. So I1 says minus pi to pi sin mx sin nx dx. So of course for m not equal to n we will be getting a different value, and for m equal to n we are getting a different value. For m not equal to n, as desired we are getting a 0, but for m equal to n we are getting a pi which is not equal to 0. The value of the integral I1 is 0 for m not equal to n and pi m equal to n. The value of the integral I2 cos mx cos nx dx from minus pi to pi is 0 for m not equal to n and pi for m equal to n. That is, we can write it as delta mn into pi. And value of the integral minus pi to pi sin mx cos nx dx is 0 for all values of m and n. And the other integrals I4, that is the product of 1 with cos nx and 1 with sin nx, both are 0. So 1 is basically you can take cos 0x. So we conclude that the set of functions is orthogonal on the interval minus pi to pi. And in fact, we can prove that this set of functions is orthogonal on the interval 0 to 2 pi also. For the interval minus L to L, these are the orthogonal relationships between sines and cosines. That says minus L to L cos n pi x by L cos n pi x by L dx is 2L if both are 0, if n is equal to m but not equal to 0, and 0 if n is not equal to m. So in various cases, here you can see and remember the formula, or even you can calculate easily yourself to observe these relations. Next is the superposition principle that says displacement of any point due to superposition of waves is equal to sum of displacements of the individual waves. So here I have taken two waves. Let us say this is wave 1, this is wave 2. And their superposition is leading to wave 3. So basically 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. This is a simple linear combination of these two waves that gives you the superposition. Superposition principle does not always hold, and the Fourier series holds only when the superposition principle does. So when the superposition principle breaks, it breaks when there are certain non-linear effects, just like an explosion, something that can break the linear effect, and in that case sound waves are no longer sinusoidal and you cannot find the Fourier series. So Fourier series can only be found when the superposition principle holds. Next is the definition of a periodic function. A function fx is said to be periodic if fx plus p is equal to fx, means the function repeats itself after the certain time p. So if a function is having a period 2 pi, it may be from 0 to 2 pi or minus pi to pi, it is enough to consider the behavior of the function in the interval minus pi to pi. Again, remember that if f and g both are periodic with period t, then so is f plus g and fg. Now this is an important definition, jump discontinuity. A function fx has a jump discontinuity at x equal to a if the limit function from the left, that is fa minus, and the limit function from right, that is fa plus, both exist but both the limits are not equal. Or you can say both the limits exist but their difference is finite. For example, you are having a function like this and this, so it is having a discontinuity here, but the left and right limit are not same. Also, the difference of left and right limit is finite. Then only it is called jump discontinuity. For example, tan theta, which is having a function like this. So at this point, this is not having a jump discontinuity because here the difference of left and right limit is infinite. A function fx is called piecewise smooth if the function can be broken into distinct pieces and on each piece both the function and its derivative are continuous. So a piecewise smooth function may not be continuous everywhere. However, the only discontinuities that are allowed are finite number of jump discontinuities. So in a piecewise smooth function, there may be finite number of jump discontinuities. Like here we observe that it is starting from A to B, and at this point this is having a discontinuity, it is having a discontinuity, having a discontinuity. These are finite in number, and also the jump discontinuities because the difference of left and right limits are finite. We take an example of piecewise continuous function. We define the function fx as L if minus L to 0 and 2x if 0 to L. So this function is just having discontinuity at origin, and it is a jump discontinuity because the difference of left limit and right limit is finite. Note that the intervals minus L to 0 and 0 to L, both the function and its derivative are continuous, so it is piecewise continuous. And function itself is not continuous at x equal to 0, but this discontinuity is jump discontinuity, so it is a piecewise continuous function. Then periodic extension is nothing but the repeating the same function again and again beyond the interval minus L to L on which it is originally defined. So repeating it leads us to a periodic function. So here this is the original function which we are repeating. Here we have made it a periodic function. Periodic function can be represented as series of sines and cosines, and it makes use of orthogonality relationship of sine and cosine functions over the interval minus pi to pi or 0 to 2 pi, or in general from minus L to L. So the study of Fourier series is known as harmonic analysis. Here I have given an example of a square wave, and it has been approximated by Fourier series. So first harmonic means fundamental sine wave component. Third harmonic means third term of the Fourier series. Fifth harmonic means fifth term of the Fourier series. Then we will be taking the superposition of these harmonics. We will be getting the Fourier series of this square wave. Now we define Fourier series. It is linear combinations of sines and cosines on the interval minus pi to pi. So this is the Fourier series where the coefficients a0, an and bn are given by these. How we have obtained the values of a0, an and bn? Simply by using the orthogonality property of Fourier series. Let us see how we have done it. Fourier coefficients for a 2 pi periodic function in the Fourier series, this. Now we want to find the values of the coefficients a0, an and bn. So a0 multiply the given Fourier series by 1 on both sides and dx, integrate from minus pi to pi, we obtain that the value of this integral is 0, value of this integral is also 0. So we are left with minus pi to pi fx dx is equal to pi a naught, so that a naught is equal to 1 over pi minus pi to pi fx dx. So we have found the coefficient a naught. For an, we need to multiply this by, since this is cos nx, let us multiply it by cos m x dx on both sides and integrate from minus pi to pi. Here we obtain this. So this integral, the value of this integral is 0. The value of this integral is 0 when n is not equal to m, it is 0, and when n equal to m, it is pi, and the value of this integral is also 0 whether n or m are equal or not. On left hand side we have minus pi to pi fx cos mx dx. On right hand side we have am pi only, because all other integrals will become 0, so that am is equal to this. Similarly, if we multiply the Fourier series by sin mx and integrate term by term, we obtain the value of bm given by 1 over pi minus pi to pi fx sin mx dx. So this way we can find the values of the Fourier coefficients. So let us take an example and find the Fourier series for the function fx, which is 0 for minus pi to 0 and 1 for 0 to pi, which is another square wave function. Simply use the value of the function in the formula for a naught, an and bn. So put the value of fx here, calculate for a naught, it gives you 1. Similarly for an, put the value of fx in the formula, here we get 0. For bn, we get 1 minus cos n pi over pi n. And cos n pi is minus 1 raised to power n. You can write the Fourier series for the given square wave is this. The sum of first 5 terms we have written here, 1 minus minus 1 square, so even number terms are 0. So here we can see only the odd number terms, because this expression is 0 when n is even. This is one more example of sawtooth wave, where we have taken 10th and 100th partial sums of the Fourier series. So this is 10th partial sum, this is 100th partial sum. Of course, 100th partial sum is giving much better result than the 10th partial sum. And as we increase the number of terms in the Fourier series, we will get a better and better approximation of the original waveform. Fourier series for even and odd functions. A function is even if f of minus x is equal to fx, and odd if f of minus x is minus fx. So when fx is odd, the integral minus a to a fx dx is 0, and when it is even, its value is twice 0 to a fx dx. So we shall be using this result to find the Fourier series for a function with odd and even components. So here we observe that when the function is even, it does not involve the term with sines, it contains only the terms with cosines. When it is odd, it contains terms only with sines. There are no cosines, because in that case a naught and an will be 0. Convergence of Fourier series is very important point, because we need to check whether the sum of Fourier series is finite or not finite, or it exists or not. So what are the conditions that are required? Number 1, fx is defined in single valued except possibly at finite number of points. It is periodic with period 2l, and fx and f dash x are piecewise continuous in the interval minus l to l. Means the function may have jump discontinuities there, and that too will finite in number. So if fx is having a point of continuity, then the sum of Fourier series is same as fx. But if x naught is a point of discontinuity, the sum of Fourier series is not necessarily equal to fx. In fact, it is equal to value of the function, the left of the x naught, value of the function, the right of the x naught, and the average with limit epsilon tending to 0. Series converges to the average of left limit and right limit at the point of discontinuity. So conditions we defined here 1, 2 and 3 imposed on fx are sufficient but not necessary. Fourier series expansion on the interval minus L to L. For minus L to L, we define fy equal to f Ly over pi. So this fy is now defined on the interval minus pi to pi, and we can write its Fourier series in this way. In this Fourier series, the coefficients are given by a0, an and bn, where fy is from minus pi to pi. Now, writing this fy again in terms of a small f, we obtain this. Setting again to initial variable y equal to pi x by L, we obtain the Fourier series for fx, where a0, an and bn are given by these. So now the limits from minus pi to pi have changed to minus L to L, and here 1 over pi also it has become 1 over L. So everywhere you can see we have replaced pi by L, and also the argument here is not now nx only, it is n pi x by L. If we will substitute an L equal to pi, we will recover our original results. Fourier series expansion for even function and for odd function. For even function, of course, Bn will be 0. Fourier series for even and odd functions on the closed interval minus L to L. For even function, the Fourier series is given by this, because in that case, the value of the coefficients Bn will be 0. And in case of an odd function, the Fourier series consists only of signs. Bn are non-zero coefficients, and the coefficients a0 and an will be 0. Let us find Fourier series for the function fx equal to x square. This is an even function for the interval minus L to L. So the coefficients will consist only of a0 and an, as these are non-zero, while the coefficients bn will be 0. The value of a0, using the formula, we obtain that it is equal to 2L square by 3, and the value of the coefficient an is given by this. Bn is 0. So the Fourier series in this case for the function is given by this expression. Let us consider the same Fourier series when L is equal to pi. In that case, the Fourier series for function x square is given by this when x is belonging to the closed interval minus pi to pi. Since x square is continuous for this complete interval, for x equal to 0, the Fourier series converges to x0. Using Dirichlet condition, x equal to 0 being point of continuity. So the sum of this infinite series is given by minus pi square by 12 when we rearrange the terms. Fourier series can be used to find sum of infinite series. For the function fx equal to x on the closed interval minus L to L, we can observe that the function is odd. So the coefficients a0 and an will have 0 values. The Fourier series will consist only of the signs. Let us find the value of the coefficient bn using this formula. We observe that bn is given by this, and hence the Fourier series for this function is this. This is an example of a function having point discontinuity at the point L. Fx equal to a for 0 to L and 0 for L to 2L. This function has the coefficients, Fourier series has the coefficients a0 using the formula gives a, an on using this formula gives us 0, and bn is given by this. You can notice that for even n equal to 2k, b2k is 0, and for odd n, b2k plus 1 is given by 2a over 2k plus 1 pi. Because for odd, this is plus 1, this is plus 1, so it will make 2a, and for even n, this is equal to 0 when n is. Hence the Fourier series expansion for the function fx equal to x is given by this. Now the Fourier series expansion on the arbitrary interval c to c plus 2l is same as Fourier series for the interval minus L to L having periodicity 2 है. So for an arbitrary interval, let us say a comma b, let us denote a by c and b by c plus 2l, so that L is equal to b minus a by 2. So using this concept, we can find Fourier series for any arbitrary interval c to c plus 2l. In that case, the formula for coefficient will also remain the same except the limits, which will now become c to c plus 2l. Example for arbitrary interval. Find out the Fourier series for the trapezoidal wave defined in this manner. Here c is 0 and c plus 2l is 3, so that L is equal to 3 by 2. Coefficient for a naught for this interval is given by this formula. So this is equal to 4 by 3. An is given by this formula, and using the values and integrating over the given interval, putting the value of the function, we obtain the an is equal to this. So the coefficients of bn are 0 because the function is even on the given interval. The Fourier series for the given function is given by this. Half range series, that is even and odd extensions. Suppose you are given a function which is piecewise continuous and defined on the interval 0 to pi, and you want to find out its Fourier series in terms of sines and cosines. So we have to find its even and odd extensions. If we are asked to find Fourier sine series, we will be finding the odd extension, and if we are asked to find the even cosine series for fx, we shall find the even extension of fx. So whatever function we are given, let us, this is the interval minus pi to pi. 0 to pi, you are given some function defined like this, and you are asked to find sine series for this function. So you will be finding the odd extension like this, and you will be finding even extension like this. So for any function, whether it is odd, even, or neither odd nor even, in any case you can find its even and odd extension by defining the function in such a way so that it is satisfying the properties of being even and odd. Mathematically, use this definition. This is fx for the interval 0 to pi, then define it as f of minus x. This will give you even extension. And if you want to define the odd extension, where fx is given for the interval 0 to pi, then define it as minus f of minus x for the interval minus pi to 0. As an example, this is the function fx equal to x. We are not bothered about whether it is even or odd. We simply want to find its even and odd extension. So using the symmetry, it gives us even extension, and this is the periodic extension. Similarly, for this function, this is the odd extension, and this is periodic odd extension. When the function is defined in even way, even extension is done, then the coefficient bn will be 0, and we are getting only the Fourier cosine series for the function. Similarly, if we are doing the odd extension, then the Fourier series will consist only of sines, and hence it is called Fourier sine series. As an example, I have considered here the function x square. So this is the even extension, and here for the same function, this is the odd extension. So it doesn't matter whether the given function itself is even or odd in the given interval, we can define it in even or odd type. Find the Fourier cosine series for the function defined as 1 for the interval 0 to d and 0 for d to pi. Since we are asked to find Fourier cosine series, so we will find its even extension. For finding the even extension, it is 0 to d 1 and d to pi it is 0. So for even extension, this is minus d and this is minus pi, and here it is 0. So you can see how to define even extension. Now using this concept, we shall find the Fourier series, and of course since it is even, the coefficient bn will be 0. Let us find the value of the coefficients a naught using the formula. We obtain it is 2d over pi, and an it is 2 over n pi sine n d. So that Fourier series consists only of cosine functions. So it is superposition of cosine series only. Even and odd extension can be done for arbitrary period 2L also in a similar way. So if we are doing the even extension, the Fourier series is given by this containing cosines, where an is defined by this. Similarly, when we are doing odd extension, the series consists of sines only and bn is given by this. Complex form of Fourier series can be found from the given Fourier series by using well-known Euler's formula for cos phi and sin phi. So this is Fourier series as we have already discussed. So put the value of cos nx and sin nx using these Euler's formula in terms of exponentials, rearranging the coefficients, collecting the coefficient of e raised to iota nx and the coefficient of e raised to minus iota nx, we can write the series as sum from minus infinity to infinity Cn e raised to power iota nx. C naught is a naught by 2, Cn is an minus iota bn by 2 and C of minus n is an plus iota bn by 2. So these Cn are called complex Fourier coefficients and simply given by this formula, where instead of sin x and cos x, now we are having e raised to power iota nx. Complex form can be found for the interval period 2L also. In that case, fx is given by Cn e raised to power iota n pi x by L and Cn is given by this expression. Using complex form, find the Fourier series of the function, signum function, which is -1 for minus pi to 0 and 1 for 0 to pi. Calculating the coefficients C0 and Cn, C0 is 1 over 2 pi minus pi to pi fx dx gives us the value 0. Cn on solving using the formula, this putting the value, we get this expression where cos n pi is minus 1 raised to power n, so that Cn is given by this. Clearly, when n is even, C2k is 0 and when n is odd, Cn is given by this. Hence, the Fourier series for this function can be written in this form, which can be further solved, simplified to obtain the Fourier series in this form. Fx is equal to 4 over pi summation sine 2k plus 1x over 2k plus 1. You can see very simple functions can be expressed as Fourier signals, superpositions of sines and cosines. Fourier series has found many applications. Few important applications are finding the sum of infinite series and solving partial differential equations. Let us see how it can be used to find sum of infinite series. We are given a function fx is equal to cos x by 2, which is 2 pi periodic and even also. So the coefficients a0 and an will be non-zero and bn will be 0. Let us find out the Fourier series for this function modulus cos x by 2. So an is given by this formula. Using the trigonometric formula here, simplifying, we obtain an is equal to 4 into minus 1 raised to power n minus 1 over pi 4n square minus 1 and a0 is equal to 4 over pi. Since the function is continuous and piecewise differentiable, so this series converges to the function modulus cos x by 2 everywhere on the given interval minus pi to pi. So if we put x equal to 0 on both sides, on left hand side we get 1, on right hand side we get 2 over pi plus 4 over pi summation minus 1 raised to power n minus 1 divided by 4n square minus 1 and cos 0 is 1. Rearranging the terms, we obtain the sum of this infinite series as pi by 4 minus 1 by 2. Let us consider one more function which we have already discussed. This is piecewise continuous function having a discontinuity at x equal to 0, for which the Fourier series is given by this. Now, what is sum of this Fourier series in the interval minus L to L? The points at which the function is continuous, its sum is given by the function fx, but at the point of discontinuity, its sum is not equal to fx. In fact, at the point of discontinuity, its sum is equal to, let us say, the point of discontinuity is 0. So at 0, it is f 0 plus epsilon plus f 0 minus epsilon by 2 limit epsilon tending to 0. For 0 plus epsilon it is 0. For 0 minus epsilon it is L, and the average it is L by 2. So at the point of discontinuity x equal to 0, the sum of this Fourier series is given by L by 2. Similarly, when we are doing its periodic extension for the interval minus L to L, then minus L and plus L are also points of discontinuity, and at these points also the Fourier series converges to the average of left hand and right hand limit at these points. At these points, the average of right hand limit and left hand limit is given by 3L by 2. So the Fourier series at these points converges to 3L by 2. In our next lecture, we shall discuss the method of separation of variable to find the solution of these important second order partial differential equations, which involves the solution in terms of Fourier series. Thank you.